Yes, we're live.
Okay, so for our servant leadership project this year, we actually had the opportunity to serve two different communities just due to our proximity to each other in the school. And so Joanna and I worked with a program that served the River Bend neighborhood of Des Moines, and then the other program was served out in Cedar Rapids. So the one that was in Des Moines was the Children and Family Urban Movement, or CFUM. It's actually right down the street from the college. And the other program that we worked with was the Young Parents Network, or YPN, out in Cedar Rapids. So CFUM has many different kinds of programs, such as the Breakfast Club. They had a bunch of after-school programs, a supper club, and things like that, to serve families and children in particular from this neighborhood due to the fact that it's so underserved and its economic status. They focused on programs that would help with growth of the community, healthy living, for families and particularly the children, and it was aimed towards support and education as well. The YPN program focused more for younger children and younger parents, so younger parents who might have had children in their teenage years, and they would support them up until their kids would enter kindergarten. And so then for CFU, it began in 1992. It had unofficially been doing work, though, for 20 plus previous years. It was headed by a church and community worker, specifically Cynthia Carver. And over the years, new leaders would come and go, and they would continue to serve the community and grow the programs into what it is today. YPN was founded in 1985 after realizing there was a lack of support for younger families in the Cedar Rapids area. Mercy Medical Center would start a group for young mothers and would later add a group for younger fathers. And they would have year-round programs serving children, like I said, until they started kindergarten. So both groups focused on a lot of social issues that were facing the areas. For CFUM, they create strength in the community by providing a place for children to go that's safe in the morning, safe after school, a place where you can go and receive help without judgment. They provide food for children and other community members as they help these families that are living in poverty, who can't necessarily provide everything for themselves and their families. They offered safe environments before and after school, and they had special programs during the summers as well. They create healthy interactions with adults and the other children, and contribute to the growth and development of the kids as they get through, I think it was grades 5, and then afterwards there were special programs dedicated towards the teenagers. And then YPN works to serve the low-income families and their children to create better opportunities for their lives. They're faced with a lot of transportation issues, paying their bills, and parents who are still trying to get an education but still be there for their families. And so with little access to certain support and services, that's where YPN came in, and they would provide necessities that would go through and support the family, help them pay their bills, and for them to continue growing and living their lives to the best that they can.
So at Seafoam, we were part of the Breakfast Club, and the Breakfast Club was mainly run by Janelle Mueller and Weston Caldwell. Basically, we would arrive in the mornings, interact with the kids, play some board games, card games, do some pictures and some homework. And along with that, we would help serve breakfast and keep the kids on task, making sure that they're following directions, walking them to school. We helped create a healthier living, safe environment for the kids there, and with more helping hands. It helped to serve more of the kids, and it kind of gave the kids more of a interaction with adults. Um, with more volunteer work, the staff at CFUM were able to kind of work on other tasks that they needed to get done, such as cooking breakfast, planning the activities for the children, and some of the other tasks that needed to get done. YPN was run by Jan Moffat and Mallory Landuit. Uh, Volunteer time at YPN was mainly done through the We Care shop. This was a couple times a week for about a couple hours each day. Working in the shop consisted of sorting through the many donations, which ranged from clothes to toys, books, and a whole bunch of baby essentials. Um, it also consisted of sanitizing the toys, making sure they were, clean for the families that came and picked them up. Washing the clothes, because all clothes are washed before putting them out on the racks for the families. Restocking the shelves with more toys, diapers, wipes, and all that. In addition to that, we assisted the participants during their checkout, as well as helped guide the families through any questions that they may have about the shop or the programs that they offer at YPN. Time at YPN allowed families to provide the necessities that they needed to give to their young families to live sufficient, healthy lives. As well as build and serve more successful families in that community. And again, with more assistance, you can serve more of the participants at a quicker rate. Overall, the time at YPN and CFUM was very pleasing and educational. We were able to give to the community and the organization. At YPN, duties were straightforward and staff members were always willing to help. At CFUM, the best part was building connections with the children at Breakfast Club and knowing that we were a part of the positive part of their day, helping them grow. Staff members were very encouraging and helpful, but sometimes lacked some positive attitudes and respect when dealing with the children. Through both organizations, we were shown how a few hours of our time could really go a long way by helping others. The experience contributed greatly to our future role as servant leaders.
At the beginning of the course, we set objectives and made proposals and made goals for ourselves, and we were pretty successful in completing most of the objectives. One of our ones for both organizations was just increasing the number of volunteers because, as we've said a number of times now, the more volunteers there are and the more people that are working for the organization, the more of the community they were able to serve. So we were really happy to just increase numbers and let more people be included. Through YPN, we gained a great understanding of how important they are to their community, especially the young families that want to make a difference and really provide for their families where they might not have all the opportunities. At CFUM, we were able to be a part of a more diverse community and learn how to be comfortable and involve ourselves in environments where we weren't familiar. At both organizations, we got to listen to a lot of different people's stories and about their lives, and which a lot of them had very different backgrounds than us and had grown up in different circumstances and were just generally very different from us. So it was nice to hear different perspectives and other people's different walks of lives. And by doing so and learning from other people's stories, we realized how important putting other people's needs are, especially when you're serving the community. The key concepts that we were able to connect to servant leadership through our work were listening and empathy and awareness And that really helped us kind of connect the two and really learn about what servant leadership really meant through our work. At YPN, Brittany had to listen to a lot of the struggles of the moms and dads who are unable to provide for their children because of financial situations. And they, at Seafoom, we heard a lot about, I heard a story once about a little boy started telling me about how hadn't been there the day before because his mom told him that she didn't have enough gas, and she didn't have the money to pay for gas to come to Breakfast Club. And that was just a really foreign concept to me because that would never have happened in my life, but it obviously was something that happened in his life pretty commonly. As we were exposed to more of the circumstances surrounding all the participants, it was difficult not to want to be more involved and be a source of positivity and help for these people in the community. At Seafoom, we were able to see kids come back like years later. They had gone to Seafoom when they were little kids, and now they were in college or older, and they came back to visit Janelle and to see the kids that were there and kind of show them how they're doing. And it seemed like most of them were doing really well, and it seemed like Breakfast Club had a large impact on their lives. So it was really nice to see how our work there and how their work there really can make a difference in someone's life. In possible future work through both organizations, the main area that we could probably contribute most to would be awareness. One of the objectives that was set for YPN that we hadn't quite reached yet was spreading the word to the program to other young individuals and families in surrounding communities. With more time at YPN, they would be able to gain more knowledge about how to bring people that meet and may be able to benefit from the resources. For the future students partnering at Seafoom, we would encourage them to set an example to the children on how to speak to each other with kindness and respect. One of the biggest problems that we actually witnessed pretty much every time we were there was bullying between the kids. And even though they would talk to Janelle and they would get help from the other volunteers, the kids who felt bullied, it still wasn't a problem and an issue, especially with certain kids. And they need to be exposed to kindness and how to talk to each other and talk to about that. So it would be really nice if all the volunteers that came out in there really tried to talk to them and show them how bullying doesn't really get you anywhere and it's just going to hurt someone. The biggest thing that I learned from this project that connects to servant leadership is probably just how important serving is first. How becoming a leader, you really have to be able to connect with the people around you and know what you need and take care of them. As part of leading, you can't just boss people around and expect them to listen, but serving them and making sure that all their needs are met and building the community around you is just a really essential part of being a leader.
So then what I learned about servant leadership from the involvement in this project with Seafoom was that there are so many people in need right here in Des Moines. And I'm fairly new to the area, and so I haven't necessarily branched out or been to the different neighborhoods and things like that. And so it definitely opened my eyes to the needs of the area, and it taught me how to continually involve myself and spread the word and the awareness of the struggles that people are facing that are literally living right down the street from me. And so it was a great experience to get myself back out there and serving, and it will definitely continue in the future as I continue to spend time here in Des Moines.
I was able to learn many valuable things about servant leadership through doing this project. I learned the importance of listening and being aware of, what others around me need so I can better serve them. Um, I learned that doing a kind act such as volunteer work, even if it's just for a couple hours a week, it's still, you know, those couple hours are still helping those that need your help. And overall, I really feel that the world needs more helping hands. And it could, I mean, helping others makes a really huge impact on their lives. And I just think like being more aware about it is could really help those individuals. I mean, spreading the word or even just helping yourself, finding a way to serve them. Is, that's what I learned from this project.
All right. Well, all in all, I think the project was a great success.
I agree.
Yeah.